We're starting with the show with a special tribute to our martyrs. We're paying homage to those brave hearts who sacrificed their lives for the nation. The visuals we're getting right now from the India Gate, where you have the Army Chief also paying tribute with the Defence Minister Mahohar Parrikar to the brave Kargil Martyrs. Today is the 17th Kargil Vijay diwas to commemorate the victory in the war against Pakistan. It was on this day in 1999 that the Indian Armed Forces, as part of the Operation Vijay, recaptured Indian posts in Kargil, which had been occupied by Pakistan's army. Since then, this day has been observed annually to commemorate the sacrifices made by our soldiers in the war. We have the Indian Air Force Chief, you also have the Navy Chief and the Army Chief, together with the Defence Minister of India, who are paying homage to the martyrs of Kargil war. On this day, 26 July 1999, India successfully took command of the high outpost which had been lost to Pakistani intruders. The Kargil war was fought for over 60 days, ended on 26th of July. Loss of life on both the sides, and India and Pakistan, with India regaining possessions of Kargil. Our executive editor Gaurav Sawant is joining us. Gaurav, you are right now in Dras, where Kargil Diwas is also observed. You've spoken to the family of the martyrs here in the New Delhi. We're getting these visuals from the India Gate, where the tribute is being paid by the Defence Minister and the Defence Services Chiefs.
Devina, a very poignant ceremony here at Dras. Relatives, next of kin, the brave soldiers, they're all here at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras. It was right here, this ground, that victory was finally won. We are right next to the Tololing mountain peak, and it was at Tololing that the first victory in Kargil was achieved on the 13th of June in 1999. And this is a war that's described as an event which was from surprise to reckoning, because Indian Army was caught off guard when Pakistani intruders came in almost 20 kilometers deep into India, an area of almost 150 kilometers in 1999. But it took sheer grit and determination of the Indian Army to took over 60 days, as you were telling our viewers. I covered that war in 1999, and clearly 17 years down the line, you see the changes that have been made in the Kargil sector all across, from Mashko Valley to Dras to Kangsar to Batalik. One message is very, very clear, that Pakistan can never ever try something like this again, and if they should try, they will not succeed. But the special significance, Devina, of this year is the families, the army behind the army, tribute and respect being paid to the next of kin of the martyrs and also the brave warriors. As we listen to this ceremony at the India Gate, there is a special significance. This is the last post that is being sounded, and after the last post is the rouse. That is something that the Indian Armed Forces stand for. You pay respect to the soldier who has fallen, but then you live to fight another day and fight to win.
So Gaurav, because it is the spirit with which our soldiers live and die for the motherland that is inspiring to every Indian. We had the Prime Minister earlier in the morning also, who has paid homage to the brave martyrs. He said on Kargil Vijay Diwas, I bow to every valiant soldier who fought for India till the very last breath. Their heroic sacrifices inspire us. Those are the words from the Prime Minister. Couldn't have said it better myself. But we have the Prime Minister also who will be coming at India Gate, and it's an annual ceremony where the families of martyrs are also gathering at Dras sector to remember how they fought the battle. And Gaurav, since you've covered the war, tell us more about the turning point of Kargil war, especially the Battle of Tiger Hill.
Spot on. A series of battles, Devina. When initially the Pakistani intruders were detected, this point where we are standing, they were barely half a kilometer from this point. They had come in almost 20 kilometers deep inside Indian territory. And the effort it took to push them back. Initially, when troops went up, they didn't know the number of soldiers who were here. They didn't know whether they were terrorists or Pakistan Army regulars. But one of the major turning points was the induction of the artillery. The 155 howitzers, the Bofors, they were almost used as the personal weapon of the infantry in direct firing mode. Kargil was one war where you saw 100 guns target one peak, and that was the motive, because it's so difficult for soldiers to climb and win a peak when there are Pakistan Army regulars firing at them. In that situation, you had infantry officers and Jawans who were climbing those peaks. They knew it was mission impossible, and yet they were doing that. But the artillery supporting them, 100 guns firing at one peak, ensuring that the Pakistan Army kept their heads down and our soldiers could climb. All of those stories are being recounted. Why is this ceremony so important? Because for every generation, that story needs to be told. You talked about the Battle of Tiger Hill, or the Battle of Tololing, or the Battle for Point 4875, or in the Batalik sector when you talk about Jubar and Khalubar, or near Siachen Glacier. You had Pakistani soldiers who had come in so deep into your territory. The Indian Air Force played a very crucial role in cutting their supply line, or Indian Army soldiers who went behind Pakistani troops and cut off their supply lines and then pushed them back. So it took almost 2 months to do that, but they were finally pushed back. Those stories are now being told to this generation of officers, JCOs, Jawans and civilians. What is indeed very heartening at this point of time, Devina, is the fact that a large number of civilians from across the country, they have come here. They have paid their respects to the fallen soldier at Kargil. And that very famous line which is etched in everybody's mind: how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods?
Very well said, Gaurav. In fact, the other line which is etched in every Indian's mind is also "Ye dil mange more." That's what Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra, had said when asked about his services to the nation. He was also, during the Kargil war, martyred after he recaptured the peak with his Delta company. And Ye dil mange more is the spirit of the Indian soldier who was not afraid to face the enemy. Also, Gaurav, be with us. We have Ashraf who gets us this report from Dras.
War victory or Kargil Vijay Diwas is celebrated across the country today. We are here in the battlefield of Dras, where the war memorial in the memory of all those martyrs of Kargil war has been made, and all the names of those martyrs are here written, and the people from different walks of life, the army commanders, the families and the kins of those martyrs are today here to pay tributes to their dear ones. We have Vishal with us. Vishal,
काफ़ी रिसोर्सेस लगे हुए हैं. अभी तक जितने लीड मिले वो सब बेकार निकले, लेकिन वी आर ट्राइंग टू कंसंट्रेट ऑन सम ग्लिम्प्स और साउंड which has emitted from some area, trying to find out whether that proves to be of some use. There are some false lead, but false lead of similar type, so that's being slightly concentrated.
सर, जो कुछ प्राइवेट कंपनीज हैं जिनके पास ऐसे वेसल्स हैं जो बहुत नीचे तक जा सकते हैं, जैसे पिछली बार टॉर्नियर जो डूबा था, क्या उनकी हेल्प ली जाएगी?
सागर निधि जो इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओशन टेक्नोलॉजी का जहाज है वो मॉरिशियस में था, उसको बुलाया गया है, वो पहुंच जाएगा. लेकिन एनी डीप वेसल ऑपरेशन विल रिक्वायर स्पेसिफिक एरिया. because this deep vessels which goes inside more than 500 meters, they cannot go and search per se unless you have some definite small area located. So last time bhi jo hua tha, submarine had identified the location and then we had sent us. So it is an secondary operation after the initial identification.
So it is said that the emergency locator beacon is not functioning properly, and yesterday Coast Guard officials said that it didn't work in the Dornier crashes earlier also. Is that a matter of concern, sir?
I think Dornier, I don't know which one operated, but finally they located the Dornier with the same beeps. So initially sound nahi aaya hoga because of the depth of the water. But when the submarine went in there on 37th day, they identified the location. So can't say whether it is not operating, but we are not able to hear it as of now.
सर जेएन के सीएम ने ये बात कहा है कि आर्म्ड स्पेशल पावर एक्ट को एक्सपेरिमेंटल तौर पर जो है वेपन से कुछ हट से हटाना चाहिए, इस तरह के एक्सपेरिमेंट करना चाहिए। आपको लगता है इस वक्त जिस तरह के हालात है इस तरीके के एक्सपेरिमेंट करना भी?
वो मुझे लगता है होम मिनिस्ट्री को उसके ऊपर कॉल लेना पड़ेगा। हम लोग केवल ऑपरेट करते हैं। एज ऑफ नाउ वी आर ऑपरेटिंग ओनली ऑन द बॉर्डर एंड काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी ग्रिड। वी डोंट ऑपरेट इन द नॉर्मल स्फीयर ऑफ स्टेट्स लॉ एंड ऑर्डर।
सर कश्मीर में अभी हालात कैसे हैं, क्योंकि आर्मी की बहुत बड़ी डिप्लॉयमेंट है, आर्म्ड स्पेशल पावर एक्ट भी है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान लगातार कह रहा है कि एक्स्ट्रा जुडिशियल किलिंग्स हो रही हैं कश्मीर में।
As far as we are concerned, we have ensured that the border is kept sealed and no infiltration bid is successful. Our job we are doing properly, and I don't think there is many encounters these days.
Well, that was the Defence Minister who was speaking to the media after paying tribute to the Kargil Martyrs at the India Gate, along with the Defence Service Chiefs. Also, we have the Prime Minister who will be coming to the India Gate and laying wreath to remember the heroes of Kargil War. It's the 17th anniversary of the Kargil War, in which India lost over 500 soldiers. But it's a battle that continues to inspire every Indian with the spirit of nation before self, service before self, and that's the message that our brave Jawans, Jawans give us from the different posts that they're guarding. They're guarding the nation so that you and I can live in security and in peace.